Today is Saturday, May 10th, 1997, the day before Mother's Day.
I think my mother looked good there. Yeah.
We're in Santa Rosa, California, at the home of Gail, my sister, and Stan Suley. And on this occasion, we're going to be watching and listening to three sisters who along with their older sister and brave mother, left Mosjøen, Norway back in 1921 and traveled all the way to San Francisco. 1922 to start a new life.
Already, huh?
Good. Well, see, now this wouldn't have come out if I hadn't drawn it up. Unfortunately, since that time, their mother, Aarem, and their older sister, Tora Weisseth, have passed away. Yeah. But today, we're honored to speak with Hilda, Aasta, and Ragnhild, who is now called Ray, and is my mother. And before I introduce them, I'm Kirk Treadwell, and I would like to introduce you to, on the left, Aasta Ramey, and on the in the center, Hilda Carlsen, and on the right, my mother Ray Treadwell. Before we start talking about this incredible trip that you guys made back in 1922, I'd like to ask you, what were those long winter nights like? How did you deal with
in Norway?
20? Yes, in Norway. It was 20 hours. 20 hours of darkness.
We were young those days. We didn't pay attention to it. We were warm.
Yeah.
And we had a good bedding.
We had the sheep
blankets
that were covered.
Yeah.
Regular sheep.
Oh, really?
Regular sheep.
Were those made on the by your mother, or?
I never remember I was school in Norway, never. But I came to school, and she said, "Oh, you have to go to school." Yeah. Do you remember that we used to go down from our place on skis to school?
Well, I remember you all left me up on the hill screaming because I fell on my skis, and nobody bothered to come back.
Did you stay on your skis?
Well, I guess I did, and that's why I was crying.
Well, I must have been alone that last year because I remember walking by what they called
You want Pasho?
Yeah, but that was a hut where they put the hay, dried hay, and they had there was an opening, and they had never closed it up. So every time I came by there was something jumped out of it, a dog or some darn thing. Jumped out of that and scared the wits out of me. I remember
Well, you were
that.
expecting to find something awful there, I'm sure.
What did you mean you were alone?
The last year of school because Hilda and Tora had graduated.
You know the funniest part, Tora was the oldest, you know.
Right.
And she was always an early bird. So I had to get up and we had to eat in a hurry and get on our skis. And when we came to school, it wasn't open. So we two sat on the fence.
Can you imagine somebody so anxious to get to school?
Well, Tora was.
I know, I know.
She got it early.
So when you graduated, you would have been around 15 or something like that. Was that a high school? Was it
That was a grammar school.
Grammar school? Okay.
Yeah. Well, how old were you then?
Well, when you were 15, I guess I was 12 and a half. You know, I was going
And you were what?
Here with me?
In Norway.
Oh. Well, when I went to school with you guys?
Yeah.
Well, I was real young at that time. Must have been when the school first started, like kindergarten here, I guess. 7 maybe? I don't know if I was that old.
I was eight when I started. And I was to meet Johan Verhoeven. He was starting school too.
Oh my God. The one I remember most was Clara på Asplänga.
Yeah.
And
Well, you had cousins you went to school with there too, right? Like Marit, was she?
Yeah, but they didn't live where we lived. You know.
they lived closer to the city.
I want to tell you something real funny. I just found out yesterday. My name should have been Hals, Hals.
You
That's
said
how
that.
my birth certificate's made up. to Ragnhild Marie Hals. We must have been staying at Hals when I was born or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, you were old. Not old, but you were not really a baby when we moved forward.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
I
I
didn't know that.
remember it. I was around 5.
No, I didn't, but I mean, actually, my name, and don't I wish I had that name way back. I didn't like all
Well,
their names.
wouldn't it have been true for all of you then? It would have been
But
Hals.
anyway, yeah, she was the youngest, you
Yeah.
know. And your walking wasn't too hot at that time. So we were going up a hill.
Yeah.
And I put it on my back. And when I got to the top of the hill, I fell, and that's when I broke my arm.
Oh, really?
Well, you got even because my wrist will never be right either. You know?
But this was here.
Yeah, I know, but my wrist is still crazy. But
The one you broke.
yeah.
But you don't have it in the shoulder.
Oh, I do, Hilda. I have it.
Can you lift it?
Well, that I can do, but I haven't.
Now let's talk a little about
Okay,
Grandma.
well,
How about Grandma Hals? What was she like?
Oh, she was
She was
a
nice.
gorgeous, wonderful person.
She was lovely.
Oh, loved all of us.
Yeah,
immensely.
you
She
know what,
always
every
walked.
day, every time
We
we
never
came to
saw her
see her.
without her cane.
Well,
She
she
always
fell
walked.
when she was
Well,
about
she had to
60.
have that, and then she fell after she had it fixed.
She had a round table in the
Uh-huh.
kind of front of a window. And when every time I came there from confirmation, she insisted on frying spickies.
What was that?
Speaker chuck. That means
Smoked
smoked lamb. You've never had.
Oh,
Yeah.
They hang it, and they.
It was good.
Didn't you have it when you were in Norway, you and Gail?
I don't recall.
I don't
No,
think they have
I
it
don't
so
think
much.
they bothered with
I don't
that
think so.
much
No,
anymore.
no.
But I thought that was really something.
Yeah, that was
And
nice.
it was.
Well, did she ever come over to the farm, or was she? She was over in
No,
Hals.
she never left.
She
Oh,
was
okay.
an
That was
invalid.
very far
Yeah.
away from the hall.
walked with a cane.
Yeah.
But
She
she
was-
teach me how to wash clothes.
So what? Okay, the reason you were in Hals was because your father Rona had left. I take it.
No, he didn't leave when we got for Hals. He
But-
left when we got
But
for
my
Hals.
grandmother did not want my father to have them.
But he left from Aarem.
Well, how come that
He was
my
mad
birth
all the
certificate
time,
says
and he
Hals?
never said a nice
You
word
were born at that
Oh,
time.
it was a
Oh, where was he then?
Emotion like he always was.
Well, I mean, but why was my birth certificate made out in, because we weren't in Aarem yet?
No, we haven't moved.
You mean we were at Hals all that time?
We were for Hals to you when maybe 3 or 4.
Well, my poor grandmother, she had all of us there, huh?
Well, no, she didn't take care of us. She had a room for herself.
Oh.
And she walked with a cane.
Well, then Rona was at Hals too.
Well, he
Is that
did.
right?
My grandmother did not want him to have the farm.
No.
Oh, didn't want him to have the farm, but he was at Hals though.
Yeah, and house.
Yeah.
He had a beautiful farm. So she wrote to this country. She had Anton on
On
as
this father.
father.
Our
Was in
uncle.
this country,
Yeah. Upton
And,
is our uncle.
up
Yeah.
in Oregon or wherever he was.
Yeah.
He's working in a lumber
And I'm surprised that she got him to come back to Norway
Well,
and take
those
over.
it was his farm.
I know, but
Yeah. But
Well, what
anyway,
you eventually did go to Aarem, so how did?
Well, they got paid my mother half, I guess, of Hals.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
other
how
my
they bought Aarem, I see. It was my mother's money all way back, And it's too bad she gave him half of it when we came over here.
Yeah, he should have had it.
Yeah.
Well,
What-
he got it in Norway so he could come over here.
Yeah, that's what I say. That
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah.
my mother was like that, and no,
Well, he felt he belonged.
Well,
on the farms, But
So
he
what
didn't.
did he do before you went to the farm?
he was riding around in a calash, a little fancy car. Fancy.
How did he make a living?
Well,
Or
once
did
in
he?
a while, I guess he worked, but he had other men that did the work on the farm.
yeah.
On
Don't you
Aarem,
remember
yeah.
Hilda?
Do I remember Rada? He studied.
Well, so what?
And,
You know
us
we were
kids,
gonna...
we laughed, and so we went to one of them and listened to him talking. That was not nice.
You
I'll
know
say
that,
no.
Kirk, I was going to tell him this is funny. Yeah, he studied. But anyway, one summer we had the job of driving to where the soldiers were food and stuff, coffee and rice and stuff. So I was on one wagon, why I shouldn't have been. And he was ahead of me.
How old were you then? Maybe not even 15.
I don't think I was 15. But anyway, as we got a little further up, it was a long ride.
Along the
The
ocean.
rope broke. And you should have heard him swear.
Of course. And all the barrels rolled off the...
Everything.
Yeah. Oh my God, you could have
But
gotten
anyway,
killed too.
he got them back on, and when we came to the Treadwell, he had a girlfriend there, so he got happy. But we had to supply the...
I bet he didn't stutter then either.
So glad to get on his wagon. But one of the horses were kind of wild. So you had to really hang on.
But you know, in the summertime, and even on Aarem, you could walk just a few feet from our house. Here were just valleys of strawberries.
Yeah.
Just beautiful strawberries. Nothing, no chemicals ever used on them. We just picked them and ate them, you know. And they were gorgeous. Not real big ones, so sweet. Oh my God, I wish I had a picture of that.
But we could go up on the Pomidon, you know, up on the field like.
Yeah.
Tori and I went there once. We were going to pick mutte. You know what that
Oh,
is?
that's up in the mountains.
So we
more.
had a little bucket with
Yeah.
us. And she went one way and I went one, and then we put them in that. When we came back, the goat has eaten everyone.
Well, what do you expect? She knew what was
Yeah, I
good.
see.
See, she used to follow us. Was it
Well,
down?
she was my pet, really, you know, but anyway. I
The
remember,
goat was your pet?
yeah, my mom said, no, she's getting too brazen.
That was him, the belly goat.
Oh, the billy goat. He got there as you snooped over. God help you.
Yeah, he was a
Not
chef.
with me.
He got so that he looked around to see that somebody had stooped
Bent over, huh? Oh, he
But
was,
the
was
mouse had to
something else.
tie him a few times.
And he would,
well, somebody came and got him, and
yeah.
I felt so bad about that. Because I think he never did hurt me, you know, just...
But you never know. Those are
No,
very vicious.
that's it, because I was still pretty little, you know. And so anyway, Mom said, no, he has to go. But I've never forgotten the fields of strawberries. Oh, they were so gorgeous, you know.
Well, there was all kinds of berries there. There
Oh,
was
yeah,
raspberry.
but the strawberries were so close by. And, of course, we could get carrots right out of the ground.
Yeah.
They were sweet.
So I found that place where they have blueberries on that mountain going from, not down the road at all. I went over and took a shortcut over the
There was
mountain.
a lot of things we could do.
Oh, the blueberries, you talk.
But you
They
know,
didn't
in
need
the
the sun, you see, like
No.
strawberries.
In the evening, my mother used to work in that garden. We had cabbage, carrots, turnips.
Now this would all be kind of during the spring and the summer, right?
summer,
When you had these long,
She did all this.
long
well,
days
the
of that
potatoes,
daylight.
because we had what do you call that? What do they call where you put the potatoes and that?
In the ground.
No, but when we kept them for the winter. you
Oh
know,
yeah, we had it in the basement.
in the basement of the not our house, but of the
No, the outskirts.
on
down
the-
there.
The barn, huh?
barn.
Yeah, under the barn.
We
And
had
in the winter time, to get to the barn, there was a tunnel made in the snow. No wonder I had claustrophobia. We had to go through that to get any place because the snow came up so high. We had, 3 stories to the house? About, I guess.
Well,
2 and a half, yeah.
We had a big house.
A big house, and the snow came, sometimes it came right over the top of the house, and
No.
sometimes
No.
our father used
Not
to
really
relieve
that
himself
high.
in the
Huh?
snow
You
out the window.
Well, to tell you the truth, he didn't do much about anything.
Oh,
in the
no.
winter.
But he did buy a beautiful organ. Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
that it is.
But why did he want an organ? He had it. He was supposed to work on the
He
barn.
couldn't even play one, but
He never thought that he could play it either.
no.
Don't you remember that friend that used to come there and play?
Yeah.
But then he got rid of that and he bought another one.
Oh,
Don't you remember the bigger one?
sort of that's what I'm talking about. They went
Yeah.
way up to the ceiling, yeah.
Well, I
A
think
pipe
he liked
organ
it.
like?
The pipe organ. And in fact, I think the church bought it.
Yeah, he gave it to some music. He liked music.
He thought he was
But don't
artistic.
you remember that man that used to come there and play so beautiful?
No.
I don't know him. He had 2 sons.
But now, if he had the money to buy the organ, I mean, obviously, you fed yourselves from all of the food and the animals on the farm, I take it.
Yeah.
But did he sell some of those? Is that how you made some income?
Yeah, they used to salt
They used to
the
sell milk.
lamb.
Yeah.
They used to salt the lamb, and of course we frequently had fish too. You know.
No, but I mean, how did he make income? Did he sell that then?
Well, we had a lot of chicken. We had a lot of eggs and milk,
Yeah.
and I think that's what my mother sold. And
Oh, okay.
We
But
never-
that was your income off
Yeah.
from
Yeah,
the farm,
from the
right?
farm,
Mhm.
But we lived good.
Yeah.
yeah,
My mother made bread. She
yeah,
made her own butter.
yeah.
So
That was it. We had rich milk and
Yeah. we
like
didn't separate.
we said that Ma said, well, at the time they had influenza, or the
Yeah.
Spanish flu or whatever they called it in 1918. Every farm had somebody who died.
Yeah.
But my mother said, well,
But do you remember when we bought prunes? She used to make this soup out of it. So we all looked around, who has the most?
oh well, I guess.
So do you
Yeah.
remember that?
Oh, could be.
But anyway, it
Well,
was
the
good.
fruit soup, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, oh yeah, she had raisins, everything in it, But I mean, sure, we lived okay,
We lived fine.
But I was wondering the same thing. How did we live? Well, then if they killed an animal too, they would salt it.
Yeah.
So we didn't eat right away, We had.
You had to store up a lot of things for the
Yeah.
winter, obviously.
Yeah, right.
But we had a lot of fish. We ate a lot of fish.
Yeah.
We ate a lot of
Hey,
fish.
didn't
and it
the
was
river
good.
go through our property at one time?
No.
The river in Aarem? Huh?
Fusta. That was the name of it.
Yeah,
The
but didn't
Vesna
it go
River?
through our property?
Well,
No.
but
He
go
sold
to
out.
that-
No, it
No,
was-
I know we sold it, but I mean, at the beginning, it was our property.
Yeah, but the guy, what was his name? He sold the part of the river that was supposed to be ours. And our father went out there once and caught a big
Oh,
salmon.
as big as long as this table, I can see that salmon.
We ate it.
And he thought it was real cute that he got away with it, but he didn't.
No, somebody told this guy.
Yeah.
See, they had already sold this part of the river that was supposed to be ours, where we could go and fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I caught it.
But you know that.
So he must have owned that separate from the farm because it's a long ways to the river.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
The river wasn't that far away.
No.
Go a couple of miles, maybe.
We used to go there and
A little bit of
bathe.
larceny in him, huh?
Well,
Well,
when,
I think
No,
this is-
when did your father leave then? I mean, you
You
when,
know, Hanna came to Norway that
Oh.
year.
Yeah.
she came to the United States.
Well, she was living over here.
She left when she was in her early 20s.
Okay.
She came here.
Oh, all right.
And so she made two
Before
trips.
any of you were born, then.
Well,
I mean,
no.
Ma didn't have you. Ma was 20-something, right? When
She got married?
yeah.
She was 26. My father was 19.
Well, if Hannah came over when she was 20, she probably was here before any of you were born,
Yeah.
or anyway about that.
Well,
So when did she come back to Norway?
well, she
Well,
came
she
back
was there
twice.
quite often. She came back.
Not to live, just to visit.
No,
Just
twice.
to visit, just to visit.
And he still had his little calash that he drove, that he whipped around in,
What about your mother's brother, Anton? When did he come over and come
Well,
back?
That was when we left the Hals. We went to the Aarem.
To go to the farm, okay.
Yeah, I took it back.
And
Then he met
my
all this
grandmother
other
had
stuff.
already asked Anton to come home.
Oh, right, okay. So,
And then they had a fight. My father and him fought. My father was so darn mad because he lost the farm. It was a beautiful
But you
place.
know, they were good friends.
They were such good friends. The time my father died, Anton sat with him all night and all day.
Yeah, because my father had changed, it got holy. Yeah.
Well, the Rihanna said he had a drunken party before he died the night before.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Drunken
really?
party, huh?
Well, he had a lot of people there.
Yeah.
now, when did he lose the farm?
He
said-
didn't really
He
lose
didn't
it.
lose
Well, you
it.
said when he lost the farm.
Yeah, well, he lost the farm
He
when he
didn't-
had the
never
money to
did.
buy this other order.
He never did.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Aarem.
Yeah.
No.
No, this is Hals. He never owned it at all.
Okay.
And
He was just
but
given
they
it
had
and he
paid
went-
Ma off, like Anton, Hanna, and Ma. they got a third each, you know.
Yeah.
And that's where Ma got her money to buy Aarem, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So when did your father leave to come to this
A
country?
year before we did.
Just a
I
year
remember.
before.
Yeah.
yeah, a year before.
Yeah. And then we lived, I don't know, we lived someplace else that
At
time.
Hals.
At Hals, yeah.
Yeah.
You mean after your father left, then you went back to Hals? Is that right?
No,
No, we
not the
didn't.
house because
went to
Austin
this,
was back.
This man that
he
Ma
had
knew,
taken
we had
over
a
by
house.
that
And
Okay, but you moved off of Aarem.
Oh, yeah, we had to.
Yeah, we had to move.
Oh,
We
okay.
had a
And,
bigger farm. Aarem was bigger than Hals.
I remember he had those horses that he took so much of.
Oh, he loved his horses.
So I think he said goodbye to the horse and
Yeah.
gave him sugar,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Yeah.
Oh, that horse was,
Luna was
Luna,
right?
Luna.
and
Well, it was pretty.
and then they had to put a swing up in the barn where Luna went by all the time, and she nicked me one time. But she knew what she was doing. She
Yeah.
just did it, you know. I mean, just.
Well, you
Boy.
probably got too close
Oh
to her.
yeah, yeah. And but
Those were the
beautiful
days.
horses. Oh, we had so many horses. I mean, my father used to go to Sweden and
Yeah.
get wild horses, bring them back, and train them.
Yeah.
You know, break them or whatever you call
Yeah.
it. And then,
What happened to all these animals in the winter? Did they were they safe
They
in the
had
barn?
they
well,
were
we had a lot of
inside.
hay.
Okay, so they just stayed inside the
Yeah,
barn.
they
Now,
stayed
what about the
inside.
chickens? Did chickens survive the winter also?
Oh, chickens survive anything.
All right. Northern Lights. Tell us about the Northern Lights.
Oh yeah, well, the
Yeah.
Tora and Hilda used to go out and shake white pillowcases. And
you
you
had
know
the
those darn
northern-
lights
you had
came
the
all the
northern
way
lights.
down. And then I got scared when they got down too close. Because I think
Is that a wives' tale, or do you think that really, or did it really?
You know, I came from school. I don't know if you were with me. So we walked up this hill. It was dark. All of a sudden, it got all lit up.
Yeah.
I got scared.
Well, of course
Yeah.
that's all electricity. They find that out now.
I guess so.
You could get killed by those darn things. And as I say, that especially if you wave something white at them, they just wave it all the way down.
Yeah.
We didn't wait till they got down to us, though. You know.
See,
So
we had
this happened all the time in the summer, right?
not all the
Winter.
Or the winter, I mean, in the
Yeah.
short.
Yeah, but
Yeah, Northern Lights,
Aurora
yeah.
Borealis, you know.
Right,
but,
right.
You
yeah.
know, we had a very long walk to get to the school.
A very long winter too.
Very long winter.
I don't know how we even managed to walk on that place. So once my father had the grand idea. It was really snowing and bad
Uh-huh.
weather.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know, I was the only one doing anything. He was going to pick me up. You
Must-
know, as we went up this hill, it was snowing, you couldn't see. The horse turned around, so when it went over, he faced us.
He had more sense than the rest of the other kids.
I think he got scared.
They say horses never forget. And, I believe
Well,
that.
I don't know now, they forgot. That horse that he always do. We were in the
Luna.
city, kind of late. And he had the bells on the top of Coyote. Stone bells, they call him. So we used to hear when he was coming home. The horse went right by our farm and they went down to the barn, huh? Yeah, way down and it got stuck there.
He was going home anyway, yeah.
Well, my mother had to go and get the horse
I
out.
know you went with her, didn't you?
Yeah, always with her. And she had a lamp then, you know.
Yeah. That was terrible.
It was rough
Yeah.
living for her.
Oh, I'm sure it was. Outside of going to the school and being on the farm, was there a downtown of any sort at that time?
Yeah,
A town
Motion.
center that you would go to, or?
Yeah,
Sure,
Motion
Motion,
was
yeah.
Well, that's what I mean, downtown.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't
Motion.
much there. I don't think it was a coffee shop and
Yeah.
maybe a liquor shop.
My father used to like to go to town and
Kirk, did
meet
you
his
go
old
for
friends
Shilgausen?
and they'd go in and
Did you
Pretty
go for
soon.
Shilgausen?
Shilgausen Motion?
No.
Well, I bet Gail knows. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the one closest to the ocean. Then there was a bakery on one corner. And then there was a restaurant further closer in. And there was some houses there, you know. But that was the main street in Motion.
See, that hadn't grown up at all yet. You know, in the later years now, Upton had all the property that was closest to Motion, and they wanted to incorporate that in the city. You know, and that's where the rest of the history. They made a lot of money. You can imagine
Yeah.
to buy all that land for for the town, you know.
You know, I
That's
think
what
they
they
kind
did.
of well to do some honest relatives.
Well, of course they all are. Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Well,
They'll be-
Anne must
They'll
have
be
been.
glad to hear that.
Are you planning
Why
another
do they
trip?
see
Kirk?
this out?
You're not planning another trip then?
No, not at this point.
No.
Oh.
Anne said everything is so terribly expensive in Norway.
Well, where isn't it for
But
her?
she had
you know?
bought some fish the other day that she thought was awfully expensive, $4.99. She
Yeah.
said, that 99-cent bugged her. She said,
Yeah. Oh.
But I bet she had 2 meals out of it.
oh, you know that.
We're nearing the end of this segment. Before we talk about your trip over, is there any vivid memory you have of Moshen or of Norway? Anything that sticks out among anything else?
Well, I remember in the winter time when it was clear and the moon was shining. It got
Yeah,
all
it was
light,
beautiful.
all,
Mm.
you know, it was really beautiful.
And the ground
The
was
snow-
solid snow.
The snow was,
Yeah.
you know,
Crisp and nice.
yeah.
Well, I remember this. I remember, of course, we were all scared to death of my father, you know. And I remember he came in one time, and I was sitting on the stair from the main floor to the upstairs. And he came in, and he had a fancy Russian hat
Yeah.
in fur,
It was
and
curly.
this lapels on his overcoat was the same, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah. And
When they really got it, they didn't have that in Moshe.
well, yeah, he sent for it, I guess.
Yeah.
But he looked like $1 million. But boy, when I saw him coming in, did I move fast, you know?
Oh, when he got a few drinks, he was really a holy terror, you know,
Yeah.
he got mad.
Whenever I went to see the wedding, which was very seldom,
Huh?
you know, Jörgine,
Yeah.
his sister,
Yeah.
she would always take me there.
And drop you off.
Drop me off, and I would sit next to the door. She never said a word.
Didn't she give you a piece of bread with
Yeah,
syrup on
yeah,
it?
yeah, she did. But anyway, he sent me many times, Kirk,
Yeah.
to Moshe to buy his tobacco.
Uh-huh.
How about Lutzasjön? I didn't go that far to buy tobacco for you.
Was there somebody else on the farm? Was there an old lady who lived upstairs?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. What was her name?
Katrina.
Petrina.
Katrina.
How,
I
what
was
was,
scared of her.
Huh?
I was scared of her.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sure.
She had a room over the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, she was supposed to the farm.
I don't know. She came with the farm.
Yeah.
she came with the farm?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did, Kirk. At that time, when you bought a farm, some older person who
Yeah.
they owned it before,
They were supposed
they
to
get
live
to
there.
stay there. See?
So was she like a housekeeper and?
No,
No,
she didn't
she
do
had her
anything.
own things. She did everything for herself, you know.
And she was mad most of the time. She used to run after her and me.
Yeah.
Well, you found some teeth. You found a calf's teeth.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when she was in a good mood, she had some old candy she was going to give us. I was afraid. I said no.
No, I never. We all stayed away from her. But I guess I told her that time, Ma had jokingly said, oh, there's Katrina's teeth, you know. And it was just the skull of an old lamb or something.
Yeah.
And so I was just a kid. I didn't know any better. And
She was
told
mad
her.
about that.
Oh, she was furious.
Yeah, she could be mad.
Oh, yeah.
She had a stick she used to run after us.
Is that
And
right?
of course, told
That
her
I
I
don't
thought it was
remember.
funny. We could run fast.
Yeah. Well.
It was many things, Kurt.
Oh, my goodness.
I want to ask about the goats. Now, I know you said how many goats did you have roughly? Or
How many what?
goats?
Oh, we didn't have. We
I
had
think
only
it was
a couple
just
of
the two.
goats.
We had
Yeah.
just the two.
We
But-
had.
Was there one time when you and Ma took the
We
goats?
were going to bring her up in the mountain where they took care of the goats to make cheese through the summer.
goat cheese up there, see? And,
So we walked and walked, and she got so tired, she laid on the ground and cried. Someone picked her up and put her on her
The
back.
goat did.
Yeah, Molly.
No, who lay down and died, cried?
the goat cries.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she did. She got sick. So then there was a river like where the Jameses we had to cross with no bridge. They had logs. And Ma was going to go first. And those logs were so darn slippery.
Mhm.
She fell in with the goat on her back. But luckily enough, there was a branch that she got hold of. So we both got across anyway. And when we came then, we thought, gee, we'll get something nice to eat. We have been walking all
It was
day.
raining too, wasn't it?
All day we have been walking.
Mm-hmm.
So when we came these people. They had nothing to eat but blue cheese.
Could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been worse.
Yeah.
So we got a place to sleep. And it was raining down the walls.
Oh my!
I remember.
You
Yeah.
weren't there.
No.
My father was going to stay home with us and watch us, you know.
Yeah.
Tora did.
Well, I mean, he was there, but I don't know. You know.
Tora was pretty good that day.
Oh yeah, she was like a grown person.
But we had to walk the same way home.
Yeah.
Talk about getting walk.
Yeah.
Did you bring any cheese back?
No, see, we get at the end of the summer, then you get the cheese.
Yeah, uh-huh.
But damn it, why did they bother?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I
They
did
could have
that.
bought cheese
Yeah.
or been without it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
They did
yeah.
things really backwards.
Well, sure.
Yeah. But
Oh,
anyway, it went okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, then at some point, which we'll get to after, we'll probably break for lunch here, and but
Well,
go ahead.
I wanted to just say that I used to play in the hill below the what? The
was like a little stone valley.
built up the whole.
Yeah.
Who owned that big mansion up there? The remember we were in the house once for chocolate. Come on, you remember
They
that?
were about på toppen
No.
in the city.
No, when we stayed at Paul's, we used to go over and play in that hill. There used to be gypsies in there and everything. Those, you know, we stayed.
Down closer to the river.
Those up high. Aasta, you know,
Oh yeah, we had those. Those were the wealthy people.
Or the
Jews
English
that came in
people.
and
no,
stayed.
they were German, weren't they? I
No,
don't
they
know.
were English.
Okay, what was the
They were
name?
Jews. They were Jews, Hilda.
Yeah, but they came from England.
They came from England. Yeah.
And they used, when the summer was over, they used to give big parties and ask everybody. And we were there.
We went in their house, and these old ladies had us sit on a sofa. Remember that up there? And they brought us chocolate. And but anyway, I played below their house, the Rexfors or something like that.
They were supposed to be the higher ups in England.
Yeah, they were pretty much
They never
nobility.
bothered anybody or
No.
tried to get.
But anyway, used to go up there and this hill and play, and there were also a group of gypsies that were there at the time, and they used to go and look at everybody's, you know, hand, the palm, to see what they could read. And you weren't there then, I guess, because I was. That was just before we came here, so I must have been, you know, a little bit older, you know.
Yeah.
And so anyway, they went around to everybody and looked at their hand and told them and darn those gypsies, I think they knew what they were talking about. But anyway, then they decided they were going to look at my palm, you know.
Yeah.
I said, well, I didn't care. I was a little kid. I said,
Well,
but
they
anyway,
didn't
they
tell you.
did. They told me when I was real old, I was going to be real rich.
Well,
I'm still waiting.
it could still happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't that a kick?
Yeah.
But and they all came and stood around me and looked at my palm, and they all agreed that it was so.
But I think that those gypsies, they lived near the bridge. They had tents there.
Well, I don't know, but they were up on that hill. You know the people's name that were up on that hill?
They were Brockhoff.
Brookhoffs, yeah, the same as the reporter here, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, they were kind of the class of like English. They had money, all
Yeah.
of them.
And they
Because
thought we were so cute. Do you remember? We, you know, and I
They
guess
gave
we said
parties.
thank you. Well, no, they didn't. If they gave parties, they had a beautiful home up there,
Yeah.
and we sat there having hot chocolate. I remember that. Yeah.
The best I remember was when my grandmother had that when I came to her at lunch. She
Yeah.
had this delicious rye bread. Do you
Yeah.
remember that?
Yeah.
Always had rye bread.
Yeah.
And cheese.
Yeah.
And then she fried that lamb.
Oh, well.
She was really a sweet lady.
Oh.
Did she make her own bread then?
No. No. She wasn't young then. She was older.
Yeah.
Not too good on her feet.
It was sad when we left, you know. I guess she knew that she would never see us again,
Yeah.
and we wouldn't see her again,
Yeah.
you know. But darn it, she didn't even cry, you know.
Maybe she was glad we left.
No.
Well, on that note, we'll get into why you left, why your mother wanted to leave. But for now, thank you very much, and we'll come back after we have a bite to eat.
Yeah.
Just before you left for this country, and your father left in 1921, and then you guys all left in 22.
Mm-hmm.
What were the reasons your mother decided she wanted to do this?
Well, I think Hanna told her to.
Yeah.
I mean, Hilda was here, and she was lonesome, you know, and she wanted to see her relatives, and so she wanted us here too, you know, and Ma thought it would be nice because you know
she was alone then. See, he had already gone.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And you were not on the farm, or were on the farm at that time?
No, we were not. We were renting somebody's house.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hals.
Yeah.
He
So
lived
it
upstairs.
was the fact that she kind of wanted to get away, and her sister wanted her here anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
And Ma thought it would be nice for all of us, you know.
Yeah.
And she had enough money to keep us all going for a year, you know. So
Yeah.
that's what they had to have in those days.
Yeah.
And so that's
They
how it
have
happened.
to have somebody here that
Look at that.
will
fireplace.
take them in.
Yeah, I saw that.
You see the way he lights it?
So when you
It's gas.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just...
what did you think when Ma told you that you're coming to this country? What kind of
Well,
I think I was glad.
I don't know if I thought at all. I just went along. You know?
I didn't think
You
either.
know, Tora didn't want to leave.
She
No,
didn't-
she had a boyfriend.
Was Jörgen?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't anything serious. She was only
It
16
could have
or
been
17.
serious, I guess, if she had
But he wrote a couple of letters to her.
Oh, she kept talking about him their whole life, you know.
So she was like 16, and you were like
No,
10.
she was 17.
Yeah,
She was
maybe
the only
you're right.
10. She had to be 17.
Yeah.
So tell me a little about how you did you pack a lot of things, and or you just kind of
I remember they
take
had
what was
the
on your
bag
back?
that I carried all the...
And why we took that big copper kettle, I'll never. I had more than that. I had one that.
But it disappeared.
Yeah, somebody stole it.
You, on 1301,
Yeah.
somebody broke into our basement there. We had all kinds of copper kettle stuff.
This
stuff.
was after you'd gotten over
Well,
here.
to San Francisco, yeah. And somebody stole every bit of it. So you see how they did even in those days. There weren't any.
Well,
honest
and maybe
people
she
around.
didn't even have a key for it.
No, it was a basement.
They
No,
broke
it wasn't
in.
broke in. Somebody living in the house.
Yeah. It didn't take much to break in either, you know.
Well, I know you left on the ship from the pier in Motion.
And you know, we were all seasick.
Well, we went on a little boat overnight to Bergen, was it? And,
That was it.
and it
over-
rolled around like a barrel all night long.
Well, it
Hilda
gets
was,
rough in the seas.
Huh?
Yes.
oh, it was terribly rough seas, and everybody was seasick. Of course, I
You
don't
know
think
where
I
that
was.
is in Norway, Kirk? Stad. It's the worst ocean to cross than any
The
other.
North Atlantic, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, it's the Norwegian Sea
Huh?
there.
What time of the year did you leave?
It's about April or May, I believe, right?
Yeah, it must have been around April
Yeah, we
or
came
May,
in
yeah,
May.
because we were here in May,
Yeah.
yeah. We were here for the 17th of May, weren't we? Yeah.
Yeah, but Hanna said you can't go to the doings before the year is over.
Oh.
And we didn't. We had to go to a dentist.
Yeah, you had to get new clothes. And
We had
everything.
to get new
And then
clothes.
you
So-
met Alma who had the same outfit as you did.
So when you so you were just on this one ship overnight or so to Bergen,
Yeah.
and then you got on a
Big airline.
big liner, huh?
Yeah.
And then that ship.
Even it was a Bergensfjord?
Stavangerfjord.
Stavanger?
And then I remember they carried food into her cabin. Couldn't taste it. We
Oh,
were in
no.
bed.
Well, they finally carried me on deck, and I had an orange, and then from then on I sort of perked up, you know.
Yeah, as soon as we got
Yeah.
to shore, we got
But
the
Nancy, what irritated me, and I've thought about it many times, they let Tora and Hilda keep their hair, but between the time we left, you know, our Aarem and we got to Bergen, well, naturally, you know, now there's no stigma to having lice because they get it in the best of families, you know. But we had lice, and so they just didn't ask us and me. They just shaved our hair off.
Now, what, they did that at Ellis Island or on the ship?
No, on the ship, or before we got on the ship.
Oh, you're kidding.
But you know what they kept? You kept the cap on your head.
Well, sure we did.
Oh, it was the most embarrassing thing.
And somebody would come along a train
Yeah.
and pick up our caps, and we would scream and put them back on. Oh, Mom made it some very fancy. I'd like to see those caps today. It had, it looked more like fins, because and that they were orange and red and then a top thing, and
But how long were we on the train across this country?
Well, before you got there, how long did the ship take to go across? That
A week.
about a week.
Yeah. And
And
we got,
what were the accommodations as such? Did you have all in one cabin, or did you have?
One cabin.
Yeah,
But I guess there was beds in there.
I know.
it's kind of like a dormitory type
Yeah.
situation.
You stayed
Well,
in bed.
I remember just being in bed on this big ship,
We were sick, all of us.
Yeah.
Except my mother and Aasta, they were not sick.
They were
not
always
sick.
waiting for the sound of next meal, Your mother's been like that all her life, Nancy.
Well, you know why, Nancy? Because she went up in fresh air on the deck.
Yeah, that probably.
And I didn't bother, I couldn't.
No,
But you and Ma were okay.
with Tora, was she sick?
She was sick.
Tora was sick, yeah.
Yeah.
Was there something about Ma throwing underwear over the
Oh, yeah,
overboard?
she had long underwear, like, it was the time of year. She thought, well, I'll never wear, these long johns anymore.
Oh, because it was coming in
Well,
the spring.
sure, yeah. So then she threw them overboard.
She did.
And, well, sure, don't you remember that? Then she got real nervous and she said, oh, maybe they would get into the engines and really fix the ship, So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, she got so worried, and then she left it at that, though. I don't think, she was thinking of talking to somebody about it, but I don't think she did. I guess the engines were stronger than the underwear.
But you know that before we left Norway, Bergen was the last place before the boat lasted.
Well, sure.
Do you remember she wanted to see that church?
I went with her. That was Trondheim.
And then we went up to that, that place we went up?
Oh, was that in Trondheim? No, that was Bergen.
Bergen.
That was our cousin.
Maybe you went to stop at Trondheim and then went to Bergen, huh?
No, we didn't stop in Trondheim.
Well, when did you go to?
Of course we were in Trondheim. I
Yeah,
went
we
to Mom
stopped
to
in Trondheim.
see that big church with her. I was with her. And we thought we wouldn't make it back to the ship in time.
Hilda,
But you know that Fleifjede, that was in Bergen.
Well,
Yeah,
of course
of course,
the
we
ship
went
went
to
over
Bergen
to Bergen.
from Trondheim.
Yeah.
Who was talking about that yesterday? That told us they'd been there. Oh, that was Cleo. She's been in Norway.
And we went, and our cousin Rickard took us on that, whatever that tram was that went up to this high mountain, Nancy. And,
Got you on it, actually.
huh?
Got you on it? I mean, you actually went up on it.
Yeah, we
Oh,
did.
yeah.
And on the top there was
Well,
a
I
big
was just
hotel.
little. I didn't know where I was going. I went along for everything then.
No, that was like a little train.
Yeah, it went up this very top,
Yeah.
And
you
then-
know that Bergen is the biggest fish city. They had fish wherever you look.
Well, I remember we went and my mom brought us new shoes there. Do you remember that?
That I don't remember.
Oh yeah, in Bergen, by down at the fish market. Yeah, and we had beautiful coats made in Motion. You remember that, don't you? Plaid coats and brown and some other color.
Yeah.
And by a dressmaker in Motion. You remember that also. And so we got these shoes that matched. They were just beautiful. And you don't remember that?
I didn't get any coat and shoes.
No, we had the coats made in Motion.
Yeah.
And they were beautiful coats too. And-
Yeah, I guess so.
So when you were down there, this was the first time you'd been to basically anywhere else in Norway, right?
Well, sure.
So it's two pretty nice cities that you saw there. Trondheim.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Bergen.
Yeah, Ma had to see that
Church.
Trondheim church.
Yeah, and she
And,
did.
and here, I mean, we were late for the ship, but that's like Ma, she had to see it anyway.
Yeah, she did see it.
Yeah, we saw it together.
And then when we got across, we landed in New York.
And what was your first impression? Did you see Were you up on deck when you saw the Statue of Liberty? Did it mean anything?
I was trying to think of that the other
We
day.
saw a lot of people, and they all were sure
Well, I
like
mean,
us.
didn't we see the Statue of Liberty at some point?
Oh yeah, we
It
saw
was in
that.
New York, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember that though. Do
Well,
you?
you know what they did? They gave us all a satchel with food.
Well, that was Ellis Island, Hilda.
Well,
We
that's when
came
we
to
landed
Ellis
at
Island.
Ellis
Maybe
Island.
we didn't see it from Ellis Island.
Well, you would see it on the way towards it, I would think. But
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we landed on Ellis Island, you know, as they did in those days. And Ma and I, as usual, I was with Ma. We sat there for days waiting to hear our name called.
for days, huh?
Yeah, we
Days,
had to
actually.
wait for our name to be called. And Ma sat there with a black scarf tied under her chin, you know, just
Ma
like,
had a black scarf on her head.
well, sure,
I
she
can
had a,
remember that.
yeah, sure, she looked like a real peasant, you know. And,
But,
Yeah.
I mean, in those satchels, they had a drawstring, so we had the food in there.
well,
it was hard
no,
for-
we got a shopping bag full of crap.
No, we all had our
Well,
own.
of course we did. In that shopping bag, we got a can of sardines.
Yeah, hard-boiled eggs.
How could you open that, you know? And then you got the Italian sausage, and God, did that smell when it got hot? Oh. And then we got crackers, soda
Yeah.
crackers, and of course I had to lug my own, and I should have because I was old enough. But when we got to New Orleans in the middle of the night, and a lot of stories went on before we got to New Orleans.
I think we were half asleep.
And
half
then
the
when we
time.
got into New Orleans, there's this beautiful station and the tile, nice, beautiful tile all over. Do you know that I dropped my doggone bag with everything went all over? And I remember that the porter there, oh, how mad he was. Pick it up, you know. And of course I got down and picked it up, and he was black, and he was, oh, I wish I could have heard what he said, but it wasn't anything very nice, you know.
Yes, no.
But before you, you took a few days to process through Ellis Island, huh?
Oh, yeah.
And I guess there were immigrants of many different countries there,
You
right?
know what it was? We had, that was so nice to my mother. This Nils Garnet.
Yeah.
He was with us all the way. And he could speak a little English, I guess, but he told my mother what to do and what to use and everything. So it was a friend.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he was here, and of course Stanley knows that. This Garnet lived here for many years, you know.
Did you know him, Stanley? Nils Garnet.
You heard the name, though, I'm sure.
Did you ever join the Sons?
No.
He was there.
Yeah, he was. He was a long time Norwegian here, and I'm sure he
Yeah.
was some officer in the.
But remember how nice he was to my
well,
mother.
they were all nice to us. He always had a big nail to hold his pants up.
Yeah, he did.
And then Hilda had it. There was a Spaniard on the same train, had a case on Hilda, and he had a basket full of eggs, and which we thought were hard-boiled eggs. And Hilda started to open it, and they were soft-boiled. But anyway, he
Well,
had,
where do you, when you got to the train, where did you go to Grand Central Station?
yeah,
where do
we
you
went to
remember?
Grand Central Station.
And did Ma know for sure which train to get on?
No.
See, that's why this
See,
Nils.
but that's why we got mixed up all around. We had to get off and on trains in the middle of the night,
Yeah,
switch
but-
over.
Nils told us a lot of places, though.
Well,
Nils.
But all the porters misled us too, you know. They just figured we...
Well, you know, my mother has never been out. It was a wonder we made it at all.
Yeah. And we went by Texas and
Louisiana.
Arizona and everything, and here the Indians were sitting alongside
yeah.
with this big Indian blankets. And I sure wondered, I thought, oh my God.
I think
kind of
it took
people
us a
are
whole week.
It did, yeah.
Think about it.
Well, I assume you didn't have a Pullman car, huh? You just sat,
Oh no, we
sat,
just
in,
sat.
sat in your
yeah.
seats.
We
And,
sat
And
in
Tora
our
went
seats.
in the bathroom when we came to the station, and the door locked, and then Ma was frantically banging on the doors, and then they said, you can't be in there when we come to the station, you know. Well, that's what they must have said. And so,
Well, then when we came from New York, we came to San Francisco.
but
Right.
on the train, you know, we saw these people like they were carrying ice cream cones, and we thought they were eggs, didn't we?
Yeah.
And
But I remember we came to the city, it wasn't on 5 o'clock, people were leaving their job for the day.
I mean, in
Downtown,
San
yeah.
Francisco.
In San Francisco.
Yeah.
And
You know how that put us on the streetcar?
Streetcar.
We should have taken the taxi.
Yeah. And we had these old beat-up straw
I
mattresses.
bet we were a sight.
Yeah.
Where did Hannah live at that time? On Waller's or?
No, you know who we went to our first meal? Did you know the Nelson sisters? Well, anyway, the parents had a flat on Haight Street.
Haight and Fillmore.
Yeah, and
It's
Esther
still
and
there. It's an
Nelson.
old building there. And
We had our first meal there.
ham and
and
eggs.
eggs.
Honda had worked with Mrs. Nelson.
Esther,
They had
yeah.
housework together.
Yeah.
But
And we had to take bath there.
Well, sure. I don't blame her
Well, you
for
hadn't
that.
had one since
No.
since when?
What?
When was the last bath you'd had when you were in?
It must have been a couple of weeks.
Must have been a couple of weeks, then. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was the first meal, ham and
Yeah.
eggs.
Yeah. And it tasted pretty darn good, I'll
Yeah,
tell you.
they were nice.
Because
too.
I didn't eat on the train. My mother was worried. There was something about the fumes from the train, the gassing. I just got sick, and so I didn't touch
But
any
we
food.
slept there the first night too.
What, at Esther's?
Yeah.
Well, maybe, yeah.
Then Hanna had rented on Fillmore, was it
Hayes.
An
Fillmore
old
and Hayes.
flat upstairs that was furnished. And underneath was a grocery store. It was on the corner. Do you remember?
This is funny. Ma said one day, go down and get butter, and so I said, what do you call it, So I said, I have something smear, So he got the butter for me.
Oh, she did though.
Yeah,
Yeah, she did.
yeah,
Ma got adjusted very good.
yeah, very fast.
So that's where you lived.
That's when we came.
For a while,
Well,
yeah.
I meant when you first came.
Yeah,
You
and
lived-
then of course Hanna figured out we all had to have jobs.
Yeah.
So luckily enough, the cannery was in Santa Clara. So we all went there.
Hilda can't get through everything fast enough,
That's right.
Yeah. And we got on, and Aasta was working too.
I
and
remember
we
that.
used to work until 11 at night.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
worked
because
in
you
the
had
cannery.
cannery.
All that
Through the
made
can
yourself
that we
older.
got in that day.
But there was a Norwegian forelady, Mrs. Rikseng,
Yeah,
and she kind of explained it to us what we were going to do. We
yeah,
made money there.
yeah. But then Hilda, this is on that Hay Street flat or whatever. Then Hilda one day had brought home a bag of prunes. And didn't Hilda eat them all? They were so good, I guess. Oh, did she get the devil both
Yeah.
ways?
Well, Hanna was
She sure wasn't constipated for very long,
But anyway, when we came to Santa Clara, we had a little house where we all stayed, which was nice.
Yeah.
I felt really at home there.
And I remember that. I used to.
All four of you were down there then.
Well, I went along to wash dishes. I made $2 a week, and
Well, my mother worked in the cannery too, and she cooked
Yeah.
it in there.
and Tora knew all,
Yeah.
And I
And
had
in the
fun because I
meantime-
met the kids around there too, Yeah.
Remember those two funny guys we met the first year we were there?
Oh no.
He was a comical that man, and he was cuckoo. He should have been in the movies.
Yeah.
His name was Anton. The short guy.
Oh
Don't you remember him?
No, I don't
He
remember.
made fun of a Norwegian, and he had his friend there, Louis Fett.
oh, they were Norwegian too.
They were both Norwegian. But they kind of laughed at us, and at the same time we laughed at them too. Don't you remember Anton?
No, I don't remember an Anton at all.
Well, anyway, one was very short and the other one was taller.
Well, Louis Fett was tall, I think.
Yeah.
So how long did you work at the cannery then?
Well, as
Well,
long
when
as
the,
the
candy,
season
when the
lasted.
season was over for
Yeah.
Oh, I
fresh
see.
fruit,
Yeah.
then we
So
went
we
back
made a
to
few
the city.
dollars.
Then I went to Fillmore Street
Hilda and
to buy
Ray,
myself clothes for school.
Yeah.
And nobody told us anything, anytime,
Well, we bought dresses, remember?
Well, I bought something with wide stripes, green and white. I looked like a prisoner, but
But then when
I
we
thought
came
that
to
was
our first
classy.
viewing on the Norwegian, Hanna finally said, well, was it the 17th of May the following year?
must be the following year now.
So we got those dresses, a lot of embroidery, long sleeve, wool dresses.
Yeah,
So the
gabardine,
first one I
have a
saw,
gabardine.
it was almost
yeah,
the same dress.
same.
Well, her sister, Mrs. Oyen, had been with her to get the dress too,
But
So
at that,
did both you and Aasta go to school, start school the same
Yeah.
time?
Oh, my aunt got us in school the next day.
they
Yeah,
both went to college.
yeah.
college.
College of hard knocks, yeah.
And I knew I was older than the kids in there. They laughed at me. Anyway.
But at the time, neither one of you spoke much English, I think?
No, we were just learning.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you, I learned fast. Within 6 months, I was the only one on the paper that got excellent. Can you believe it? You know, I think about it now. I'll bet you that you don't even know what a gerund is, do you? G-E-R-A-U-N-D, parts of speech.
It's a little less than smaller than a possum, and
No, it's a part of speech. What is that?
But Tori and I had
it's a verbal noun. Gail knows it, yeah. And I was the only one on the paper that knew that, so I had my all excellent.
So now, when you were back at school and you'd come back, so is that when you and Tora had to go to
we had to have
LA?
Housework.
But you know, I worked for those people. They were so very nice, organized.
With these people in
And
Los
you know where
Angeles?
they lived?
No, here.
Where we had our flat on 11th Avenue. They had the corner.
Uh-huh.
And God, sometime I was out with the neighbor there, an Italian girl, and I forgot my key and everything. So I had to ring the doorbell. I felt so embarrassed.
Yeah.
But anyway, now when we moved there, well, it was later, you know. So the old man was sitting in the stairs, but I didn't say anything. But I mean, he was very organized. He lived there with his sister-in-law, and he had a son. Don't you remember one morning you and I were going to go and get park? Early?
What was his name? Do you remember?
Kirk?
It was Kirk?
Yeah, it was Kirk.
K-E-R-R?
He had iron fabric.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and he had that lady that was a housekeeper. She was nice too. They showed me how to make bed, how to wash dishes. So that was almost a year, I think I was there.
Wow.
Yeah.
There was some point when you and Tora went to Los Angeles?
No, that was later.
That was later on.
After we got in the law, I see.
After you got him what?
After we got kind of acquainted in the lodge.
Uh-huh.
So we met those two funny men.
Were you in the lodge at that time?
No, we didn't belong, but we went there.
Uh-huh.
So we met those two men, and they talked about Los Angeles somewhere. So they said if we went to Los Angeles, they would help us to find a place to live. But mostly we got a place to work.
Well, you've worked at the Beverly Hills. What you should complain.
Yeah.
The Beverly Hills cabins they have there.
Yeah.
And boy,
I was putting this silver away in it. Then they had a cabin I was going to clean up.
Yeah.
And there was one man that sat there. He was mostly drunk.
Well, one of the actors, you could have been Humphrey Bogart sitting there.
A gentleman. I threw out wilted flowers and
Thought you threw him out. Well,
yeah.
So anyway, they didn't stay there long because Tora had to get back to see her nails.
Yeah,
you know?
that's right. Yeah.
So this would have been about 1925 or something like that, huh?
What?
24, 25? You weren't married yet,
No.
but
No.
you must have been married shortly after that.
No, then we came back to San Francisco and we started going to the lodge. We know about we met a lot of nice people.
Well, a lot happened in 2 years. I mean, you came over in 22 and you got married in 25, right? 1925.
Did you get married in 25?
Yeah.
Well, Tora got married first, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, we had a lot of good time and fun with nice people.
Mm-hmm.
We met so many people, and they were all young, and like to have dances and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was nice.
Well, it must have been, it was the roaring 20s, a lot of
There was
wild
a lot
things
of
going on.
people came from Sweden, young people, and they all were in the same boat as we. They couldn't speak too good English. We used to go to a place across the bay that called Shellmons Park. Guess it still is there. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We took a train to go there.
Then let's see.
And we had so much fun on the train.
When I got finished with my schooling, why Hanna put me in the Hals Business College.
See, you went to college.
Yeah, after a fashion. Hals Business College. And when I got finished there, they sent me out, and I didn't even have a nickel to go on the bus. I was going to be interviewed. and I met some Swede.
Yeah,
and
there was
could
lots
he,
of
could he give me a nickel until I saw him the next time? Sure, he said. So I got a nickel, and
But remember with that guy that interviewed you, what he said?
Oh, well, that wasn't the same time.
No,
that
that's
was later.
a lot later.
I think that's funny, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was funny.
What? Now tell me what he said again. Oh, yeah. He
Do
said
you know the difference between a
typewriter and a sewing machine?
so
He was that's
Isn't that a dirty insult?
yeah, what a dirty thing. And I was a good typist
But he
too.
was-
Yeah. You just take a typewriter and throw it.
You know, when you're young and can't speak the good English, you have to take
Yeah,
things.
they take.
Yeah, but you worked for him though.
Oh yeah, I guess I did that. That was later when I was doing part-time
Yeah.
work, you know. But I got in with the telephone. I got in,
Yeah, you got in the right place.
and I guess I saw that Swede sometime and gave him the nickel back. I hope. I don't remember
Well,
now.
the first job I had, I guess I was 16. You remember that the Blueprint place down on Sansom Street? And I guess I was all of 16. Okay, the boss was out, but all these guys in the print shop, they put me on top of a table there, you know, and I was sitting up there just having the best time when the boss came back, and out I went.
Did you get fired?
Oh yeah. Well, no one.
No, we used to go to the lodge. We had a really
But the
nice.
lodge, would this be like the Sons of Norway you talked
Yeah.
about?
Yeah,
Right.
and then there was a Norwegian church on, was it Mission or the Lourdes?
Well, it was down there, yeah.
We used to go there when they had Christmas parties and doing.
It's probably the one on Dolores at
Yeah, and it was very nice with all
18th
people.
or 17th.
No,
With a
18th.
lot of people.
it was an old church.
Yeah, it is.
Pastor Brulin.
Yeah.
Remember him?
Well, he confirmed you.
Well, sure.
Well, Norwegian Lutheran is on Dolores, and it's near 19th.
Yeah, but it
Near
was.
19.
19th and Dolores, I
Uh,
think.
yeah,
Well,
but I think it was an older church. than
yeah,
that.
I think that maybe it was on Mission.
Could have been, yeah.
But I mean, they had Christmas parties and lots of them talked half
Oh.
Norwegian.
Oh yeah, we were half grown then, and I remember we used to have a lot of fun with the boys, and we had to go to class before,
Yeah.
you know, to learn, you know, before we were confirmed. We had to
Yeah.
study, and so anyway, but
Those Swedish boys, they were such a good dancers. But they were so funny too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, now, where did you meet Ross at through the Sons of Norway, through the lodge?
At the lodge.
Is that where Tora met Nels also?
No. No, I know where she met him. At that park we used to go and dance, Shellman's Park.
Oh,
Because he got on the train when we were coming back. And he had one of those Norwegian fisherman's caps. Shit.
Gosh, yeah.
Yeah. And
He always wore a cap.
yeah. But him and Tori got so, I thought, what is that man?
Yeah. Yeah, we've been saying that ever since. Where did that man come from? Yeah. Then he came to visit her, and every time he would have a gallon of wine on his shoulder, you know, and Tora would think it was funny. Oh my God. Oh. And
Funny
Hanna and Ma talked to her. You can't have anything to do with that person.
So when you got married, where did you and Ross move?
They had an apartment.
Whereabouts was that?
I think it was on Webster Street. But anyway, he always said he's going to buy a place and have his own place.
Oh,
And he did.
yeah.
So I said, maybe we should look where I used to work when
Yeah.
I first came. Don't you think that the house was in the back? An old house. So he had a house mover, and he moved it to the front.
Yeah,
And oh, he did a lot of work there.
yeah.
And I don't know, I just felt that that was the place.
Was that in the city?
Yeah, on the 11th Avenue between Gabriello and Balboa. And he paid 65,000.
Yeah, I remember at the
65
time he was
hundred.
moving the house,
Yeah,
you know, to the front.
yeah. And how many years did we live there?
Oh, plenty of years.
Yeah, no. That's where the girls went to school too.
Uh-huh.
You remember?
So when Ross built the house out on 31st, right? So you bought the lot there, and he...
Well, he was going to go to Gurneville. He got the idea he was going to go up there and build. So then Gladys said, well, you go ahead, I'm not moving with you.
Naughty girl.
So I thought to myself, no, I should leave her in the city. That would be crazy.
Oh.
So I said, I'm not going either.
Going where?
To Gurneville and
Oh,
where he was 10, I
yeah.
guess. One day girls should I go up there. So then he kind of started thinking that he had to have a house. Yeah.
Well, you had the house about the same time we bought our house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he built it today.
Yeah, I know he did.
And then it wasn't many
In
lots.
Burlingame, you mean?
Well, no, in the city.
Yeah.
Up on 15th
We stayed
Avenue.
with Ma then
Yeah.
Yeah, you moved
for 3 months.
near the end of
Everybody stayed with Ma a while.
So it was near the end of the war, I guess, when you moved in at 31st. Is that right? 31st of June?
I don't know when that board was.
Very first
Well, 45. maybe
45.
Yeah.
I just noticed the paper when we bought 1966. Does that sound right?
But was that a new house when you bought it? Yeah.
Where you live now?
Yeah.
That was 1959.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But anyway, he got that house up so quick, and we moved in.
Well, you had your stepfather help.
We moved in 2 weeks before Christmas,
Oh.
and well, it was nice. It was brand new.
Was that in 1945 they moved?
I'm asking you. I don't know. Somewhere in that, in the
Yeah.
early,
Well, like
early to
Gladys
mid
was
40s.
in her. She was in her 20s.
Oh, Gladys?
Yeah.
Well, when did Gladys get married? It was right after she married, wasn't it?
Well, you got married in that house, remember?
Right, 1948.
Yeah.
So it was a question of a couple of years there. What?
No, she didn't stay there that long.
No, that can't be right.
2
What?
months?
Till 31st Avenue.
Do you remember our those neighbors?
Oh, okay. So Ross built the house just a year before Gladys got married. Then,
Yeah.
And Thelma.
The man was an opera singer. Remember that? And you got married in our front from you and Thelma?
No, they got married in Reno.
Yeah, but they had the party or something.
Well, yeah.
So he was singing. What's his name now? Well, anyway, and
No, I thought you had the Jewish neighbors there.
no,
At
not
the-
on 31st.
Well, when
Oh,
Gail
Greenberg,
got- huh?
Greenberg?
Greenberg.
Yeah, but no, this was on the other side.
Oh.
You meant 31st.
Well, then, they got married in Reno. And then they came to our house, poor Thelma and
I
Charles.
remember I was there. We have a whole album full of evidence, yeah. Yeah.
Well,
But
let's, Aasta, when did you and how did you meet Harry?
Who was that Norwegian he was working with?
Chris.
Chris what? Anyway,
Oh, Chris that stayed at Moss?
yeah, well, he started drinking
Chris
so much.
Christensen?
Yeah, he's dead and gone a long time
Oh,
ago.
yeah.
And,
He was dead when half dead when he lived with Ma.
Yeah,
Well,
but
he
this-
laid in bed
How his room stank. Oh. He just, Mom got him his liquor because he was all gone anyway, you know, I might as well.
A big,
know.
strong man.
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, he died from cancer. And he had, all he wanted was liquor, you know.
He wanted
Yeah,
liquor.
he got me. That's all he would take.
Uh-huh.
No
I bet
food.
that Stanley know the Christensen girl. She was their
Ruby
cousin.
and Ruby Christensen. Did you know?
Well, no,
them?
they were older than you.
Yeah, oh yeah, sure, because she was my age. And Ruby and what was her sister's name?
At any rate, Harry worked for Christensen, huh?
No, they worked
Oh,
together
they worked together.
on the waterfront, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they worked together.
yeah.
And then we got married and lived on the 19th Avenue in a brand new house.
Yeah, you had a nice
So
house.
when did you got married? Somewhere around what, 1930 something?
Yeah. Yeah. I forget what year. Anyway,
You know, you should have kept that house.
yeah,
Yeah,
It was nice.
yeah.
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 And it would have been easy to take care of and
It
everything.
was a brand new place.
Were you married before
Then
my mother was married?
No, I was married first. Yeah,
Okay, so it's late 30s then.
yeah, late 30s.
yeah.
And then we decided that we should have a chicken farm. Oh, God. So we
Well,
came
before you
up.
get to the farm,
Yeah,
but
here we
the
come to
19th
the
Avenue.
farm.
I remember that 19th Avenue, the blackouts and the tanks
Yeah.
going up there during the war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Ramey was in the closet with David. She had a light on, which was you're not supposed to have on at that time because the army trucks were going by.
I know.
You,
Do you know who I had in my house that one night? Kirk. And
Oh yeah.
and,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Marie David
That
Hill.
was the same time. Yeah.
And I tried my darnest to keep you quiet. It was dark.
This
Yeah.
was 11th Avenue, right?
Yeah.
Well, it had to be.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
couldn't understand that I couldn't have light on.
No. And then, Mrs. Ramey shouldn't have had a light on even in the closet. Even a cigarette light you weren't supposed to have on.
No.
No.
Anyway, we stayed there and then we found a place in Putali, huh? Wasn't it Putali?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, the chicken
Chicken
place.
ranch,
Yeah.
5 acres.
Yeah.
Old
Now,
house.
Harry, before this, he'd been
Well,
a
he
teamster,
still
a
worked
truck
in the
driver, right?
city. Huh?
He was a teamster. He was a truck
Yeah,
driver,
he
right?
was a truck driver.
But he just decided, hey, I want to do something different. Is that it, more or less?
Well, I think Harry thought he could make it with the chicken and
Yeah.
make money.
He
He
said,
said,
"Well,
we'll
have
have you
anything
all
to do
up
with
there."
the chickens."
He said, we'll have you all up here. Because he thought, he would be so well off up there. But anyway.
Oh, so we bought a place where the chicken, that there was not an egg in them. They had all laid their share of
You
eggs.
know, Aasta, you were supposed to sell them, and right before you sold them, they died or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But we stayed there 2 years and got more in
Yeah.
debt every day.
Well, sure, because the chickens were so crowded that they suffocated. You remember that?
Yeah.
All of them suffocated till on top of everything.
I hated the chickens. I hate them today to take care of them.
I don't blame you. I don't like
And
chicken.
Harry didn't want to be around them at all.
Well,
He worked in the city, so he came up every weekend.
he came up and sat
Oh,
on that
he
hill.
brought you up and said, I'm going down to where it's civilized or something.
Yeah.
He sat up on top of that hill, and I think those chicken shacks are still
Then
up.
my father came down to visit.
Oh, yeah,
He
that's it.
stayed
Then he
there.
was an old man.
Yeah.
We never met him.
Yeah, you met him, didn't you?
No, I didn't, because we
Oh.
were going to go by your place. It was before Christmas.
Yeah, he was
And
there.
we came from Gurneville. And
He
we saw
stayed
the
a while
smoke.
and he started building it.
No, you already left when we came.
Yeah.
See?
He was going to build his own place there?
No, another outhouse of some kind.
yeah.
I think.
Now, where had he been staying? In Seattle or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, he went back up there.
I think he belonged there. Or
Yeah, he belonged.
But,
I don't know where he belonged.
we saw
So
him,
we
but
stayed there 2 years and then we decided we wanted to get back
You
to
were
the
lucky
city.
that you got rid of it.
Yeah. He didn't want to stay
he
there
had
often.
been a very, handsome man when he was young, and he was only not even 35 when he came over here, was he? First, when we left. And, but he looked like a broken old man, bent over, and, well, Gladys knows, she saw him. Homely as a Dickens, yeah, and everything, and, but that's
Well,
what,
he had done a lot of drinking and things.
oh,
on the way.
fast lane stuff, yeah. And,
So then we got ready to sell the chicken place.
we got ready to say,
Another story.
well, tell us about it.
Yeah.
With all the chickens. So then somebody told us about this house in Daly City.
Well, you had to have one good break anyway.
Yeah.
Huh?
And we got it for 9,000. They used to sell for around 12, 13,000.
Yeah.
And it was okay, And it was a Danish people that had had it. And,
Well, it didn't
then
have
the
any...
Stensons, the Swedish guy,
Yeah.
Nels Nelson, remember?
I remember us sitting up at your farm there, candling eggs, cold as the Dickens, and you had to get your hands in this ice cold water to candle the eggs to see. I thought, oh boy, what a
But you know what a beautiful garden you had in your house. Aasta had the prettiest roses.
Yeah. Uh-huh. On
You remember
Templeton,
that,
yeah.
Nancy?
Yeah.
She knows how to take care of those things.
Boys, I had, then we bought, and it was a Danish couple that had
Yeah.
lived in the house that
Yeah.
we bought in Daly City.
Yeah.
And everything grew in that yard. I had tomatoes there,
Everything.
and I had,
Yeah.
used to ride up to Oregon to get fruit trees. I had the apple.
You were really smart with it.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that dining room table Ross made?
Probably got left behind. We couldn't, it was too big.
Yeah, it was too big. It was a dining room table.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
But
thing.
anyway, yeah.
Oh, well,
You had everything in that house you needed.
Yeah. Well, you know what I have? I still have that candelabra from the dining room that you had, you know.
Yeah.
If you know somebody, you know, if you want it back.
Maybe Nancy's boys could have it someday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Yeah.
But how about that white Chesterfield? Who got that?
Oh God, that meant
The white what?
Chesterfield, she had a beautiful home.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I
that was
kept it
great.
covered when it was new, and then when it was old, and it looked like James, I guess, got that. It's upstairs in his house.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
The pearl gray when they had first had it.
Yeah.
Well, David had something to do with that, I think. Huh?
And then some James and his friend put in an apartment downstairs.
Yeah.
And that was fine. They did a good
That
job.
was
And
beautiful
I
job.
bought a refrigerator, I bought everything. And then
Then we put an ad in the paper for an apartment, and the
Oh, for
phone
the-
never stopped ringing. And then they said, no, we're
all
not.
of a sudden I decided to sell the place. My dog had died in the meantime.
Well,
But it was just him and I in the house. And you know how I like that dog. And
I know.
I think he liked us all. He used to stay in the window. He knew
Oh,
when we were
yeah, he
coming.
knew us all, yeah. But I mean, anyway, you know,
so that was
His
the
name
end of
was
that
Fritz.
story. Huh?
Fritz.
Fritz, yeah.
yeah.
And he was cute.
Yeah.
No, Mom,
And he was so smart.
Yeah.
You know, I used to say to him, come on, Fritz, we'll look for fleas. Ah!
Yeah, oh, yeah.
He got so mad. Remember
Well,
me?
I don't blame him.
Well, Mom, you know, you must have, I mean, when you were still pretty young, Hilda and Tora had married and were off on their own.
Yeah.
So you were with Ma quite a bit, and I guess Aasta was at that time.
Yeah,
too.
we were, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, tell me a little about after they left, where did you live with Ma?
Well, we both worked, and we were away during the day, and home at night.
But where were you? On Waller Street?
On the 639 Waller, yeah.
Right.
And Ma cooked for all these people and everything, you know.
Was that what she did for a living?
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Around this
right.
house.
Yeah.
She didn't get any relief of some pension or
Oh, nothing like that. She made pretty good money at that, too, but, you know, it was...
She bought herself a car.
That's another story, Ma driving. Oh, God.
I drove that car.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I remember Ma going right through everything, and the guy said, oh, the language she used.
Mom thought she could drive the car. We had
It
a
was a beauty.
Studebaker,
Yeah.
and then Nancy, whenever she was mad, everybody was an old Studebaker.
Oh,
That was her
Oh.
way of getting
No,
even.
it wasn't it a Buick?
Huh?
no, it was a Studebaker, yeah. And Aasta did go up Van Ness and around and then drove to work even, didn't you?
You should
Yeah.
never have stopped driving.
No. No.
No, because
There
She
wasn't
should
that many
really
cars then as there is today.
She should have been driving, you know?
Yeah.
Gotten a little car for herself, you know?
little Volkswagen
Yeah.
or something about it.
So anyway, that's what happened
That's
there.
the story of our
But
life.
Ma she worked and then she even had Tora there
Yeah.
and her kids, you know, and everything. And she used to take Ken along. She used to go down to Crystal Palace Market,
Yeah.
come home with 2 shopping bags. Oh my God.
Now,
I remember
were you
Tor-
staying with Ma till you met Dad?
Yeah, uh-huh.
So that was like 10 years there, and you went like from the Roaring '20s through the stock crash and the Great Depression. I mean,
Yeah.
what
Early
happened?
30s was this really the
Right.
Big Depression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, did you hang on to a job, or were people losing jobs? What was?
Well, we've always worked.
Yeah.
And in fact, at one time I went to interview for a job downtown, and there was so many women out of work. I swear there was over 100 applicants sitting there to, you know, and the guy wanted me. Well, then of course I was already working, so I went back to Foster and Kleiser and told them that. So then they raised me, so I didn't have to move after all.
But you know that, Ray, that Ma always had Isabel this Chris Lund, I don't know if you ever heard of
Oh,
him.
she had everything hanging on to her. I
And
tell
that
you.
little girl was about the same age as Kenneth.
Yeah.
And Tora was supposed to take care of her when he had the bar on market.
You didn't pay anything either for having it. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I think he paid more.
Well, very little.
Yeah.
Very, very little. Yeah.
But anyway, she had a place, Tora, and that was the worst. She was going to cook for these people. And I don't think she liked it at all. So she put the potatoes on. She got her things and she left.
Wasn't that dangerous even?
Yeah, but she
I
didn't.
mean, she could have burned the whole darn place down, you know. Oh, my God.
Well, anyway, she didn't go back.
No,
to
she
that.
hung on to Ma always, you know. Nils or not, that was all, you know.
Yeah.
Either it was Tora with the kids or it was Nils and Tora and the kids, you know. So, that's the story of that.
Yeah.
And,
When was it that Mom met Milton?
well, she went up to the theater one day on Castro, and they were both discussing what was playing and one thing and another.
Well,
and they went to see the
Didn't she go for
movie.
a trip back? Didn't she go back?
Oh, well, of
Yeah.
course, but that was after, a couple of years after. They went back down to Oklahoma. And, you know, and in fact, she went through, what do they call those things? The typhoon or no?
Tornado.
Tornado, yeah.
But she
They
didn't like it, Ray.
like it. They had to go underground and stay there while these things were going on. And she said it was the scariest thing she'd ever...
You know that he never got a job. And he used to smoke cigarette and shake his leg.
Oh, yeah, sit there with his foot kicking, you know. But otherwise, he wasn't dislikable.
No, he wasn't bad.
But he knew all the ins and outs of welfare and all that, you know. Knew when you didn't have to work or when you had to work. And he was a pretty nice guy otherwise, you know.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
Now, how did you meet Marshall, Dad?
We worked together, Foster and Kleiser.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yeah. We worked together for about a year, you know.
God, when you look back at all those years,
Uh-huh.
it was a lot of funny things.
Yeah. Yeah, you wish you could begin all over again, don't you, sometimes, you know?
Well, at certain things.
Throw out all the old stuff.
Skip some of it. But anyway, I
Yeah.
had a lot of parties on the 11th Avenue.
Yeah, oh, sure.
Christmas party.
Yeah. Oh, I know you did, Ellen.
Remember that Christmas when Hanna and Nick were there?
Yeah.
Marshall and his brother. Which brother was it?
Earl.
And they were sitting on the kitchen
Yeah.
floor playing dice.
Yeah. Well, Earl he was really a nice guy, you know. Too bad that, you know, his father didn't bother with him or anything, you know.
Well,
So-
he was alone then, I think.
Oh, yeah, who,
And
Earl?
Hanna wanted to go home.
Yeah.
And Nick, no, he wanted to stay.
So
But
they
then
stayed.
Knut was there and took him home.
Oh.
Well, they weren't married then.
Oh, well, that's another story. That went on for another 20 years.
10
huh?
years.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Hanna came by one day in a big car, and there was some people sitting in the back. So she got out of the car and came and rang my bell and she, I'm married.
who cares? Old history, huh?
I don't know where they had been either, I didn't ask.
No. Well, they've been to Napa. That's where they belong for sure. Oh.
But you
Was
know,
that the first time Hannah was married?
Yeah. She was, what, in her 50s? 55
Hanna?
or 6? Yeah.
Yeah, she was old.
Yeah.
But
They
she
met-
made a man out of him.
They met when they were, I mean, he was, well, he never knew this till much later. She was 10 years older than him.
10 years, and that made him so darn mad. He found out he was a lot younger than Hannah.
No, they were going to Norway.
When they went to Norway, they can't put the right age on a passport, you know. And from then on, it was all downhill.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, she got him dressed up and stopped drinking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my,
cooked for
yeah.
him.
Oh, she cleaned him up.
The
for
white
sure.
cups and the cup
Yeah,
links.
cup
remember
links,
the
yeah.
ones?
Oh, yeah, he pretended he was something big then, you know. Oh.
Well, he got to be a captain.
Well, do they have captains anymore?
I don't think so.
Of course they kept.
I know he isn't a captain.
No, but I mean...
He used to be on the boat that went up the Sacramento River.
Well, that's a big captain, huh?
You know, I wanted to ask you if you had any memories of, probably not interested in politics at that time, but any memories of Harding or Coolidge or...
Oh, Roosevelt.
Roosevelt, of course.
Loved him.
Yeah,
And
everybody
as you
did.
know, I was with you when he died at Safeway in Burlingame, and I just cried.
Everybody
He was wonderful,
did.
wonderful.
He had a good voice.
I
Except
used to
Harry's
think of that.
mother. Harry's mother hated him.
Why?
I don't know.
She hated Roosevelt.
Well, a lot of people, you either were all out for him or you were all against him, you know. And funny, the other day I saw, they put a memorial statue of him, and I opened the paper, and I said, gee whiz, he sure didn't look like Eleanor. And it was Eleanor.
Well, he had a girlfriend besides her.
Well, who cares? He was a great man. He was. I thought if anybody had a father like him, he was so wonderful. When he talked, used to have his fireside talks, everybody listened.
Yeah.
He was fantastic.
Well, how about Clinton? What's wrong with him today? Does anybody hate him today?
I don't hate him at all.
No, I like him. I'm
He's
glad when he
doing
comes out.
his best. Of course, now he's really had to learn how it is to sit still, too.
Yeah.
Do
Keep
you
his
know
pants
that,
on, too.
Since he got those two canes today,
Huh?
since he got those two canes,
Yeah.
I saw him the other night.
Slowed him down.
And his
hasn't
head.
he? Mhm.
Yeah, he looks
Yeah.
a little more
Yeah.
serious.
And of course the Kennedys, that's something else. Did you hear that the other day? Somebody was talking, they said, those Kennedy boys never did know how to keep their pants on. Well, you know that the sons of Robert now, they're both in trouble. Plenty of trouble.
Yeah.
Michael and Joseph, yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to talk a little about Gurneyville. It was such which everybody calls Guerneville anymore, I guess, but
Oh, really?
always was Gurneyville, and there were so many good times.
We always
about it.
had people there.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
loved it up there, yeah. It
You
was,
stayed with me for the week. Gail stayed with me for the week.
yeah,
James stayed with me for the week.
yeah.
And every time I got up in the morning, it was very quiet.
Yeah.
So when I went to the bathroom, I said, how come that you always get up? And he said, I heard you flush the toilet.
Natural, I figured.
But
yeah.
he never wanted butter on his bread.
He probably still
No,
doesn't.
he grew up, there was a shortage of butter, remember?
No. He's like Gail. I don't think you ever had butter on your French bread either, did you?
Well, there was a shortage at one time.
And
that's
I
why.
don't know what they cooked.
Oh yeah, it was ration more or less, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Butter and
It
sugar.
was it was that stuff, the red dot thing,
What?
wasn't it? The margarine,
Oh, that you mixed.
that you mixed in with this
Yeah,
white lard
yeah.
or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But they were nice kids. They had a good time.
Well, the early years, of course, it was all
You all
during,
three
during the
slept
war.
on that
Yeah.
porch.
Yeah.
Up down it.
Yeah, there was a lot of rationing at that time. The meat, especially,
Yeah.
Gas,
Yeah.
Yeah.
gasoline.
But it was the good old days today when you look back.
Well, because everybody was young, and I think that made a difference.
And they were
too.
well, and they ate almost anything you fixed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. David came up sometimes when we were there too, and he told us that I was a great cook, which was a lie, probably. But anyway. And,
You know, Gladys, we better get on the
oh,
road.
now come on, now it's only a little after 3. You can stay for another hour easily,
No, then it starts to get dark before you come home.
Dark. What time does it get dark? Does it get dark till about 8?
You know that it doesn't get
Yeah.
dark till almost 8 o'clock now.
Yeah.
Well,
But,
tell me a little about, I know we talked about Ma, but you must all have some favorite stories about your mother, about some incident or...
Let's see. Well, Ma did a lot of things, I know.
You mean with that car?
Well, that was one thing, yeah. The guy was going to teach her how to drive. She went right through the stops and everything. Oh, God. I was in the back seat, and then she
I
heard
can't
his
imagine
language.
why she bought that car for.
But then she never got a license, is that right?
Oh, no.
No.
Well, now, wait a minute, Aasta.
No, I don't think so at
How
all.
about the guys that drove it up on Kings when they smashed it? She must have had something to show that it was her car.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I do.
But they were all lucky that nobody got killed. in
Weren't
that
they
car.
lucky? But
Yeah.
oh,
I don't think Ma got hurt at all.
oh God! But she looked white that morning, though. She told us we were, and yeah. Well,
And then she bought herself on Christmas a fur coat.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah,
So she
Yeah.
must have made money.
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
But
Fur
she
coat.
was so generous that if they
Yeah.
didn't pay her, she would feed those
yeah.
gazelles anyway.
I had to go around San Francisco trying to get some money from the guys that lived with her. They moved out, during
Well,
the
I don't think
Depression.
they had jobs.
They had jobs when I went around, and they had moved out,
Yeah.
and were working
Well,
again.
some of them came back, didn't Berger, and somebody else came
Well,
back.
But you had to chase them down for back pay or back
Yeah.
rent?
Well, yes, they had stayed there for nothing.
all winter.
Yes, all winter, and then they had a meal every time.
Yeah.
And Ma would never ask him, She,
And
You know, that was really too bad. She should have spoke up.
yeah, Ma didn't know how to speak up at all. She
No.
wouldn't say anything.
No.
Do you remember that guy? I think he came from Oslo in Norway. He could play the piano. The little guy?
Oh, little
Joe.
Pete.
Little feet, huh?
Yeah, little Pete.
Yeah.
He was a little finer.
Yeah, he had been an accountant in Norway. I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
Did he pay?
I don't
I think
remember
he
him
did.
staying. I
Yeah, I
don't believe he even stayed there.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he stayed there.
Yeah, sure, he paid his way. Yeah, but some of them didn't. And anyway,
Then
But-
she had that Danish guy, whatever he did, I don't know.
I don't know, yeah. He stayed there for years.
oh, you mean Hansen, the one that went around with that
Yeah, on
neck
his
thing
neck.
all the time? Yeah, yeah.
He was-
One
that
night
was
they had a
late- that was
really
late
lively
then.
party there. The police came and he went to the front door. Party here? Nobody had He was dead sober all the time, so he
Yeah.
was a good excuse. Like, let him answer the door, Oh, God.
Well, she let those people do what they wanted.
Oh, sure. Oh, boy. Talk about parties on Saturday night. Oh, boy.
I think she should have thrown them all out and said,
Yeah.
get lost.
Yeah.
And then what was that German?
Oh, Roman Jack?
When he got a few drinks, he used to sing, oh, them golden slippers.
He was probably the handsomest
Oh,
German
them
I've
golden
ever seen.
slippers.
Gorgeous blonde hair. Didn't he have gorgeous? But he was a Nazi, and he went right back when the war started.
Yeah, this was close to 1940.
Yeah.
And I think that most of those Germans left that we knew.
Oh,
And
he looked
used
like
to
he
sing.
Huh?
He sang.
Huh?
He could sing.
He could
Oh,
sing.
well, yeah, he had a few drinks and he
Yeah.
could sing
Yeah.
like everybody else.
But I mean, he was. He looked like he belonged in Hitler's army.
Well, of
Oh,
course, they all
sure.
thought at that time that Hitler was a
Yeah.
great guy,
39 is when he came in the picture, Hitler. And
They all went back to
yeah,
Germany
sure.
thinking, oh boy,
Yeah.
here's the
Uh-huh.
time of our life.
Yeah, and I'll bet he was right in one of Hitler's
I
army. He
don't
looked
know.
just like they would in his army,
Oh, them golden slippers.
Slippers, yeah. And then, of course, the Peterson brothers.
Well, they were not the Germans.
No, I know I don't know what they were. One was a little cuckoo, of course,
Yeah.
but
The one that had the case on you.
well, he was a cuckoo. He was cuckoo for sure. I went down to Monterey on my vacation. He was going to drive Ma's car down because he said he had a friend down there they were going to go away together. So he drove down there, and the guy that I had gone down to see, every time we were out for dinner or lunch or anything, here old Peterson showed up. I am telling you, he was a nut. What was his first name? Do you remember?
I don't know. I didn't know either.
And
one
his
of them.
brother always pulled down the sweater, you remember, over his seats? Oh, God. But
It had
they
to
were
be
nice. They were nice boys,
Yeah, well,
though,
yeah, they were nice.
So you
Yeah.
see, that's how my mother made a living.
Yeah, she was having fun. She thought it was all.
Yeah, but
And
I
then,
mean,
then she also had to support Tora and the kids, and you know.
she worked too at the time. She worked hard.
It was,
Carried home things from Crystal Palace Market.
yeah, and she said Ken along, and Ken said they had a little stop once in a while for a beer. And then Ma had the big shopping bag full of lamb, legs of lamb and sides of lamb and everything, you know, to bring home, you know. And then old crazy Holden was waiting for the serviettes at the dinner table. Where are the serviettes?
Yeah, he was finding in the desk.
Oh. And he was my witness when I got my citizenship papers. He had the whole courtroom in hysterics. He was a character.
Yeah, he was a fight.
God,
But he never drank.
He never drank, and I don't know, he just did judge and everybody. I thought they were going to go,
Well, he was funny.
Oh, he was so funny, that man. But then he had to do it then, you know.
What did his job was?
He was a what do you call it? The guy that a watchman.
Oh.
A night watchman or, you know, something like that.
But he got married too lately.
Oh, to Mabel, yeah. Oh, him and Mabel, I tell you. Oh.
Well, on Ma's car, when she bought this car, I guess before she got a license, because she never got her license, no?
Yeah. Well, I have an idea. Anyway, they took it up to Kings Mountains.
Well, they would have
when
to
did
do
she
that
buy
car.
this car?
Well,
After they were in that accident, I never saw the car anymore.
there wasn't anything left of the car after that.
So she only had it for a short time.
Maybe less than a year.
Less than a year.
Yeah. And they were up on Kings Mountains with their boyfriends, Mrs. Kroll and Ma, and their boyfriends. And he was driving, I guess, and my God.
You know, I tell you, Dave, I never met any of those people.
Well, I didn't say you did.
No.
Well,
But I mean, they were funny people.
Well, they were those guys that were around, you know.
Well, they needed a place to stay and eat.
Oh, you mean in the house there?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, these guys they were with that night, they didn't stay there. They were people that I guess they had eaten in the restaurants or whatever. I don't know who knew them, Mrs. Kroll or Ma did.
Yeah.
And they were going to take that car out. And boy, they were lucky. None of them going to kill, but close.
Pretty much all the different things that have happened, and just to get to where we are today, we've had a lot of broken and sprained bones going on.
Yeah.
Maybe you could tell us how you're getting along today and what's going on, what you do. You interact a lot with each other.
Yeah, whenever we get together, I love to see them, sure. But we all go and look and live in different directions, so it's a little bit complicated to get together all the time. But, you know, we know that they have some good genes running through them, just like the rest of us. And good genes, bad bones.
Yeah, I think we had. I think you're right.
Uh-huh. But we're all surviving. And that's something right there, you know.
Thanks to our kids.
Yeah. Keep us young, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have Nancy. She's the best thing you could do.
Yeah.
And I have my girls.
Yeah.
And Ray has Kirk.
Kirk, and I have Gail.
Yeah, be any better.
No.
So you're going to stay here tonight?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's nice.
We're invited, I think. Yeah.
Well, ladies, we want to thank you very much. This will be very entertaining viewing for other people in the family who didn't see this today. And,
Or even hear
it's
it.
very interesting to all of us to hear stories we hadn't heard before. And
Right.
we thank you very
I
much
would
for
love
this.
to see it.